In this video, I'm going to cover the best marketing method that you can implement as a business owner in order to get leads consistently for a long period of time. I'm talking about SEO. And the reason why SEO is so important is because it helps your company show up when people from your local area search for your services. The reason why this is super beneficial is because if somebody goes to Google and they type in the service that they need or the type of contractor that they need, for example, remodeling contractors near me or bathroom remodelers near me or bathroom remodeling near me, those kind of people are looking to find the contractor to help them. So these people are actively looking to hire you. But if they can't find your company on Google, then of course they will find your competitors. Now, this method is actually pretty simple, but a lot of contractors really don't implement this on their own businesses. SEO is something that's super easy. You just need to focus on your Google business listing, focus on your website, explain exactly what kind of services you provide, which areas you serve, and then Google will better understand exactly what your company is about so that when people search for some of these services, they will associate your company with those services, and then they will show your company higher on Google. A lot of successful contractors are already implementing this method, and at this stage, it's really not something that's optional. It's something that every single business has to do, because if you don't implement this nowadays, 10 years down the line, there's going to be a lot more businesses that you will actually have to beat in order to get results. So many businesses have a website, so many businesses have a Google business listing, some of them even do SEO. And in order to get results, you have to beat those listings and you have to show up higher than those listings and those websites so that people can see you. Because nobody's going to scroll through a couple of different pages in order to find your company. Most people will look at 5 to 10 top companies that show up on Google, and even if those companies might not be that good, those people really don't care, because from their perspective, if Google is showing these companies to be at the top, then that means that those companies are probably the best choice for them. Now, even though a lot of successful contractors are actually implementing this strategy, there's also a lot of contractors that are killing it in this game, but they don't even have a listing or they don't even have a good website. And that's because these guys have a ton of referrals. For companies that are extremely well established, this might not be necessary. But because everybody's using Google nowadays and the world is becoming more and more digitalized every single day, this is something that you should definitely implement for your business. But if something happens and you can't get enough referrals to actually keep getting consistent work, then in this case, it would be really beneficial if you already developed some of these sources from before so that you can actually keep getting consistent results. So that's why even if you're getting a lot of referrals nowadays, in my opinion, it's always best to have multiple lead sources just in case something, for example, happens in the economy. You need to be able to quickly get additional lead source so that you can cover the losses and of course start to get more jobs. Now, if you want me to take a look at your company, then head over to the description, click on my website link, fill out the contact form, and then of course I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, the best thing that you should focus on is your Google business listing, and that's this thing right here. And most of you actually already know what Google business listing is, and most of you already have a listing. But having a listing is not equivalent to getting leads from that listing. A ton of people have a listing, but very few listings are actually getting results. And it's really not that difficult to start getting results, and it's something that's just necessary. So in order to get leads from your listing, you need to have a well-built website that's optimized for SEO, that properly explains to Google what kind of services you provide, what kind of areas you serve, and all of that stuff, so that Google better understands that. And then, of course, by understanding that, they would be able to show your company when people search for your services. Same thing goes for your Google business listing or Google business profile, because they changed the name recently. You need to provide enough information to Google on your Google business profile so that Google understands what services you provide. You also should add a lot of pictures to your Google business profile. And the most important thing that you should do is get a lot of reviews. The reason why reviews are super important, even if you do all these other things, is so that your listing can get more attention from people when they see your listing on search results. If your company has a couple of reviews and all these other companies have 20, 50, 100 reviews, then of course everybody's just going to skip over your company. Nobody's even going to go to your website. Even if you provide amazing work, people are just going to completely ignore you. So in order to avoid that, try to get a decent number of reviews. You don't need to have the highest number of reviews, you just need to have a decent number of reviews. And this is something that I tell all my clients. Like, whenever I work with somebody, I tell them that they need to get more reviews. Like, that's the only thing that I need from my clients, reviews and images. Because that's something that I personally can control. I can get your website and your listing to rank high on Google, but without images, I'm not going to be able to actually convince people to contact you. And without reviews, I'm not going to be able to get their attention. That's why doing these two things is absolutely crucial for your company, even if you're paying for SEO services. Again, images, super important. Try to get as many pictures as you can when you are doing some work, because you can always delete those pictures later. But when you have a lot of images from your previous projects, you can then, of course, add the best ones to your website, and you can highlight your work. And this is something that's absolutely crucial. As we already know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So you should try to take as many of them as you can, leave the best ones, add them to your website, and then, of course, this would help you close more leads from your website as well. Now, of course, this also depends on the industry as well. If somebody's looking for a remodeler, then of course the main thing that they will look for would be images. But if somebody's looking for example, a plumber, then of course they don't really care about images. They just care that you're a real person. They do care about verifying that you're a real company, that the person that they invite into their home is not some kind of maniac. So that's why having pictures on your website is important no matter what kind of company you are. Now, the main benefit of doing SEO compared to other marketing methods is the fact that if you stop advertising, for example, you would immediately stop getting leads. But meanwhile, if you stop doing SEO, you would still keep getting results from your SEO efforts, because SEO is the organic way to actually get leads. Now, paying for SEO services, of course, is about obtaining that initial, good position on Google search results, and then, of course, to maintain your position and to gradually keep getting better results, or just to prevent competition from retaking your current position. Usually, the more competitive area you're in, the more difficult it will be for your company to get good results. But once you actually start ranking really high on Google, and once you expand your service area, then of course you could get incredible results. But getting to that point is more difficult because you have to beat a lot more company. Meanwhile, some guy in a more rural area, for example in Virginia, he's just gonna need a Google business listing, a simple website, explain all the services that he provides and areas he serves, and then of course this can easily help him get some really amazing results if he of course gets some reviews as well, because that's crucial in all scenarios. But then again, if you're in a more competitive area, once you start to rank really high on Google, you could get much better results because you have access to a lot more people than somebody from rural area would. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I really hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. You can also go to my website. I'll leave a link down there, and fill out the contact form, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you have any questions, you also have comments as well. Like this video, and of course subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content. But thank you for watching, and have a good day.